A stormy night sets the scene as the team arrives at the looming abandoned asylum. The building is shrouded in darkness, its walls scarred by time and tragedy, and a feeling of dread settles over them as they approach. Flashlights flicker as they step inside, illuminating peeling paint, broken tiles, and old medical equipment strewn across the floor. A chill runs down their spines as they hear faint whispers echoing from somewhere deep within. They find the asylum's files room filled with scattered patient records and photographs of former patients, many of whom were subjected to experimental treatments. Disturbingly, one file bears the name of a team member who insists they've never been here before. Deep within the asylum, they stumble upon a hidden chapel, once used for exorcisms. The walls are covered in Latin inscriptions, and remnants of burned candles surround a large, stained crucifix. A dark presence lingers, and the air feels thick and oppressive. While exploring, they hear footsteps behind them and see fleeting shadows in the corner of their eyes. One investigator, Sarah, suddenly collapses, claiming she feels hands grabbing her, whispering in her ear, "You don't belong here." They find an old journal belonging to Dr. Calloway, the asylum's former head, detailing disturbing experiments in curing possessed patients through forced exorcisms. The entries become increasingly incoherent, hinting at his own descent into madness. Emily, another team member, begins behaving erratically, her voice deepening as she mutters in Latin. Her movements become strange, as if something else is controlling her, and she speaks of the endless pain suffered by the asylum's forgotten souls. The group uncovers a hidden room behind a false wall, which was sealed off to contain the asylum's most dangerous patients. Inside, remnants of chains and worn-down carvings of protective symbols cover the walls. This was where the patients supposedly trapped malevolent spirits. They catch a glimpse of a dark figure in the shadows, larger than any of them, with hollow eyes watching them from across the room. It moves closer without walking, gliding toward them before disappearing into the darkness. Desperate, they attempt to perform an exorcism to free Emily, who now seems fully controlled by an entity. They chant prayers from Dr. Calloway's journal, but Emily begins to levitate, her voice screaming in multiple tones. You cannot save her. The spirit possessing Emily reveals itself to be the tormented doctor. Calloway, forever bound to the asylum. He confesses that his attempts to save patients only damn them further, and that he now claims the living as penance. The group tries to escape, but every door they find only leads them back to the chapel. They realize that they are trapped in a loop, forced to confront the spirit head-on if they ever want to leave. Armed with holy water and the last pages of his journal, they confront Dr. Calloway's spirit in the chapel. They shout prayers and throw the holy water, which makes the spirit shriek in pain, flickering in and out of sight. With one final chant, they manage to weaken Dr. Calloway's spirit enough to break his hold on the asylum. The building shakes, and a wind sweeps through, extinguishing their lights as the curse is lifted. As dawn breaks, the asylum stands silent once more. The team makes it outside, each haunted by what they experienced, carrying the weight of Blackwood Asylum's dark history. They vow to never return, but leave with an unshakable feeling of being watched. While exploring, they hear footsteps behind them and see fleeting shadows in the corner of their eyes. One investigator, Sarah, suddenly collapses, claiming she feels hands grabbing her, whispering in her ear, "You don't belong here."